Have you ever wondering how to build your own game from scratch? In these tutorials, I'm going to show you how to build your own Pong game from scratch, which you can even play with your friends. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into it. So for us to be able to, we need to quickly install Python and Visual Studio Code on our PC. So from here, you search for download Python. Then you make sure that you are getting it from python.org. So I tried using Python 3.14.2 and I was facing a lot of problems when installing Pygame. So you can scroll down here. Therefore, we are going to use Python 3.12.5, which is this one here. Therefore, here in this folder, I'm going to install the Python 13.12.5. So we need to double click to open the installation window. Then from here, we make sure to add Python to path and then install. So Python has successfully installed. We can now close the window. And also, let's download Visual Studio Code. So we will search for Visual Studio Code, making sure that we are downloading it from code.visualstudio.com. Then from here, you click on this link and making sure that Visual Studio Code is downloading, just like this one. Then, so let's close it and open Visual Studio Code. We agree to the terms. Make sure that we have create desktop icon selected. We click on next and then wait for it to install. Visual Studio Code 2 has finished installed. We can launch it now and make sure that we install certain extensions. So from here, you make sure that you click on these boxes and this search bar has been presented. You make sure to search for Python. So we are going to install a couple of extensions. Make sure that all the extensions that we install under Python is coming from Microsoft. So we have this one from Microsoft, this one also from Microsoft, this one from Microsoft, and this one from Microsoft. So you click on it and then here you will have installed. Then you make sure that you install all these packages from Microsoft. So yes, this is how you can download and install Python and VS Code on your PC. So for us to be able to build a game, we need to install Pygame. So to do that, we need to come to the search here and search for command prompt. Then from here, we can check the version of the Python that we are using, 3.12.5. We can install Pygame by using pip install Pygame. So yes, as you can see, we now have Pygame successfully installed. Wow, if you have been able to make it this far, then meaning you are now ready to build the game. So before we build the game, I have just created a folder somewhere on my desktop and I've named it Pong. So I'll drag and drop this folder on VS Code, and then here we can click on this icon to create a new file. So this file, I'm going to name it pong.py with the nice Python file extension. So with this, meaning we now have our Python file. So let's start writing some code. Before we start building the game, we need to do a couple of imports. First, we need to import Pygame as PG and random. We will set our screen resolution to 800 by 600 and initialize the game engine. I am also going to define some constants for the color and the size, like the height of the pedal and then the ball size. This will make it way easier later on in the code if you want to make a couple of changes. In Pygame, we use rect for rectangle. To track the object, we will create two paddles, one on the left and the other on the right. Then we will place the ball right in the center. To get the ball moving, we need to give the ball a direction X and a direction Y. These variables represent the speed in X and Y direction. Then let's create a reset function which we use to reset the ball back into the center whenever it hits a wall. Now for the instruction, inside the main game loop, we will check which key are being held down. For the left player, we will use W and S. And for the right player, we will use the up and down arrow keys. You also add a small check to make sure that the paddle does not fly off the top or the bottom of the screen. The ball needs to move every frame by its speed variable. But what happens when it hits a wall? If it touches the top or the bottom, we will multiply its vertical speed by -1 to make it bounce. We will do the same thing using collaterate if it hits the paddle. If the ball passes the paddle and hits the other side of the wall, we will call our reset function to put the ball back into the middle. Okay, fine. Let's make it visible. We will fill the screen with black to clear the previous frame. We will draw our paddle as rectangle and the ball as ellipse. I have also added a straight line that passes through the center. It gives that retro arcade feel. Finally, we use pg.display.flip to push all drawings onto the monitor, and clock.tick60 to keep the game running smoothly at 60 frames per second. So if you have been able to follow this tutorial to this end, meaning you have been able to create your own Pong game from scratch. So yes, let's test our game. So to run our game, you need to come here, select terminal, new terminal. Then you need to make sure that you tap Python. So yes, this is how you can build your own Pong game from scratch. What are some of the things that you can do? First, you can add a scoring point for the left player and the right player. You can choose to change the color and the size of the ball, the height and the width of our paddle. You can also add a couple of phases like increasing the ball speed whenever that it hits a paddle, just to make it a little bit faster. Hey, I have the code saved in my GitHub repo. So here in this repo, you can choose to download the raw file or the codes, copy the codes into your project, or clone the entire project too as well, if you are finding it difficult to follow along. If you find this video very helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and also share the link for others. I'll see you in the next video.